Kratos is not a Spartan, he is a Titan's ghost. Ashes of forgotten wars cling to his cape, a banner of rage that outlives gods. Atreus draws his bow beside him, unaware the string hums with primordial venom. Outlives gods, Odin's cloak swallows the horizon, but his eyes track the man who walks a blade between mythologies. The 9 realms tremble not from Ragnarok's promise, but from the blood that forged it. Kratos married Faye to bury a past that seeps like poison through time's veins. The cape does not symbolize Spartan honor, it swallows it. What secret in Kratos' bloodline could unravel the 9 realms? His mother, Callisto, bore Zeus' child, a mortal vessel for Titan echoes. This dormant power, buried beneath Spartan steel, corrodes the Norse cosmological order, a hero to some, a rupture to others. His blood carries the weight of a fallen age, a curse that thrums against the fragile balance of realms. The Titan's shadow does not whisper. It roars through every battle, every betrayal. The 9 realms tremble not from Odin's folly alone, but from the legacy Kratos carries, a legacy that bends the very laws of existence. The answer lies in the Titan curse that haunts his bones. Sparta's soil drinks deep of blood, a mother's womb torn by Zeus's rage. Callisto, cursed to bear a Titan's wrath in mortal flesh. Kratos walked that cursed earth, a boy with stars in his veins and death in his step. Centuries later, the wanderer treads Norse glaciers, a blade's shadow between worlds. Faye's eyes, cold as Jotun stone, see not a man but a storm. Her hands, warm as Yule's breath, clutch a fate colder than Niflheim. 2 realms, 1 blade, a son's vengeance, a husband's burden. What does a Titan's seed sow in a soil of frost and ash? Grief-stricken soil, Sparta to Asgard, drinks the same bitter wine. The 9 realms tremble not from Kratos' rage but from the curse that hums in his silence. A mother's sin, a father's pride, a wife's frozen tears. What secret in his blood could drown the roots of the world tree? The answer lies not in Asgard's halls or Sparta's dust but in the space between. Where Titan screams meet Jotun winds, and a god's grief becomes the world's undoing. The blade's heat lingered in Kratos' grip, still slick with Ares' blackened blood. Athens burned behind him, its marble choked by smoke sharp as regret. The Titan's whisper in his veins wasn't mercy, it was a hunger, ancient and cold, that thrived on the collapse of gods. When he turned the same blade on Zeus, the storm above cracked its fury loose. Lightning seared the throne room, illuminating the king of gods' hollow eyes as his life bled into the marble, pooling thick and violet. Kratos felt no triumph. Only the weight of a legacy that fed on rage. Odin's path was quieter, but no less devouring. Well old but in bone, he devouring plunged his eye into the dark, not seeking wisdom but addiction. The well's voice, 1,000 whispers layered like rot, promised him the shape of the world's end. He gave his sight to see it clearer. In Valhalla's shadow, his remaining eye burned with feverish light, tracking threads of fate that frayed wherever Kratos' shadow passed. The Titan's blood did not roar, it seeped, a silent poison in the soil beneath Asgard's roots. A forge smith in Nidavellir once asked Kratos why the skies trembled when he walked. He said nothing, but the air there always smelled of ozone and burnt hair, as if the realm itself feared combustion. Odin knew the answer. His knowledge, that cursed gift, told him the truth. Kratos was no hero. He was a fault line, a living schism where Titan and Norse collided. The 9 realms did not bend to war, they bent to what war made of men, and so the gears ground. The blood of old gods stained new gods' hands. The blade strikes, Baldur falls, ice breathes through the realm between. Kratos' blade, forged in Greek fire, severs a god's fate, the air shudders. Not with Norse thunder but with the whisper of old Titan blood. His heritage, buried beneath Spartan steel, stirs, a hero's path or a fulcrum for collapse. Atreus stands at the Well of Souls, the prophecy coils around his throat, gold eyes burn, Loki's shadow does not resist it, * welcomes *. The boy who carried his father's secrets now carries a kingdom's. The 9 realms crack like a blade through Yggdrasil's roots. Fimbulwinter is no mere frost. It is a mirror, Greek vengeance and Norse doom, twin engines of a storm. Kratos' blood did not start the fire, but his blood * fuels * the blaze. A Titan's lineage, both anchor and anchorite, hero to one world, scourge to another, the realms collide, the well bleeds. What is a god but a storm given shape, and what is a man but a storm given choice? Kratos' hammer fell. Atreus' crown of lies became a crown of ash. The 9 realms do not war, they unravel asterisk. Titan blood and seers fatetwo threads of the same noose. The ice will not thaw, the prophecy will not recant. A father's sin, a son's acceptance, the gears grind, the blood of old gods stains new hands. And deeper, still deeper than any fate whispers its first rule, choices are never yours. But the cost was the 9 realms themselves. The air thickened with ash where his Titan blood met frost. Bifrost's light dimmed as his sword glowed with primordial ichor. Yggdrasil's roots withered, drinking poison from his veins. A father's vengeance, a son's burden, each step unraveled the weave. The void hummed, the void remembered. Baldur fell, Freya's tears iced the stars. Njord's breath turned to famine. A king's vengeance became a plague of seasons. The frost didn't break, it bred. Yggdrasil's branches cracked under the weight of eternal snow. Loki's chains froze solid. Even the trickster's rage could not melt the silence. Zeus forged his throne from Titan bones, but Kratos carried the old blood, a relic of Tartarus. Every step he took, the ground remembered Kronos' rebellion. His son's arrow pierced the god of light and the cosmos shuddered. Hero or harbinger, the realms could not tell, his wrath saved a throne. His heritage shattered a sky, winter night claims its due, the dead have names, the living have none, the void hums, the void remembers, the frost claimed Baldur first. Then Hod, then the fields of Ivaldi's sons, their forges snuffed, the Einherjar's shields crumbled to hail, the Norns spun ice instead of fate. A line of kings once drew strength from the well of Erd, now it mirrors the void between Titan and Goda, wound no spear could heal. The realms burned, the realms froze, the blood of a conquered race became the storm. And in the eye of it a father and son walked, ghosts in a winter not their own. The secret in Kratos' blood was not a weapon, it was a wound, a relic of the Titans, older than Sparta's wars, older than Odin's throne. When the Spartan first bled in Valhalla, the cosmos shuddered. His shadow did not vanish, it seeped into the roots of Yggdrasil, a poison the world tree could not purge. The red of his legacy, once the pride of a conquered race, became the scar of a dying realm. Odin saw it, felt the tremors in his broken eye. A god's blood could bend fate, but Titan blood rewrote it. Kratos' strikes in Ragnarok's prelude were not acts of war. They were cracks in a stained glass sky. Each god he felled, each prophecy he shattered, rippled outward. The 9 realms, built on balances of light and shadow, began to list. Atreus walked this tilt. A boy shaped by whispers of Loki's fire, yet bound by a father's silence. His transformation was no theft of identity. It was the logical end of a chain. A boy fed lies, starved of truth, becoming the trickster the cosmos needed to survive. The Titan blood did not choose him. It required him. What does a god become when the world he built begins to bleed? Kratos, the ghost of Sparta, learned this in Valhalla's halls. His sword was not just a tool, it was a conduit, a bridge between eras. Every slash carried the weight of Titan primordiality, every breath a reminder that some legacies outlast the bodies that bear them. The fractures spread. Odin's wisdom could not mend what Titan blood had unmade. The 9 realms teetered, not from war but from shift. A Spartan's shadow became a wanderer's burden. And in the silence between stars, the blood of the old world waited, always, for the next fracture. The silence between stars holds its breath. Kratos stands in Valhalla's ash, a Spartan shadow now rootless, a wanderer burdened by echoes. His blade rests sheathed, yet the ground trembles not from rage, but memory. The 9 realms bend under a storm not of their making. A Titan's blood once spilled in Olympus, now poisons Yggdrasil's veins. Atreus walks the prophecy's knife edge, his destiny etched by Baldur's death, his steps weaving fate's tapestry tighter. Can a god's child outrun the shadow of his father's sins? The realms ache with the weight of dual legacies, one of frost, one of fire. Kratos' hands, stained with fates unspun, clutch nothing but air. The past he buried in Greece rises as tide in Norse shores. Ragnarok's clock ticks in the marrow of his sons, in the silence of his sword. The old world's blood did not come to save, it came to fracture. And as the wolf's hunger stirs, the question curdles, who haunts whom? A god, a ghost. A man who learned too late that some prophecies are not chosen, they are inherited. The end comes, the end begins. The blood of a Titan runs in Kratos' veins. Zeus forged gods from wrath. Kratos hammers worlds with it. His mother Callisto was not merely mortal, her line birthed a storm older than Olympus. Rage is not his flaw, it is his scripture. A fire kindled by primordial hands. In Norse halls this truth festered, the Aesir built on balance. Kratos' legacy is a chisel, each strike cracks the cosmos' spine. Atreus walks a path Baldur could not, one bound by prophecy, the other by choice, yet both burn, one for love, one for survival. The 9 realms did not simply fear Kratos' blade, they feared what it carried, a heresy from another pantheon, a seed of Titan hubris in Asgard's soil. What does a god of war become when his war is predestined? Kratos' strikes in Greece birthed gods, his strikes in Norse killed them. Fimbulwinter's chill was not fate, it was a mirror, reflecting the day Zeus crushed the Titans, the day Kratos' mother bled the price of his power. The day he learned wrath is a language, and the 9 realms were never meant to survive the translation. Rage built Olympus, rage unmade Asgard. In the final mirror, Kratos stands between worlds, a savior who could not save, a destroyer who could not stop the blood of a Titan. The will of a man, the end begins where the prophecy was written in his veins. The Spartan cape hangs frozen in time, its red a wound that never clots. Threads of war and wrath bind a legacy no god could sever. The 9 realms split at their seams not from Titan fists, but from the sun of their dying rage. A hero carved from the void, his blood a key and a curse. What myth could cage such a storm? The cape whispers no answers, only the weight of what he carried. A father's shadow, a son's fury, the price of a universe reshaped. Red as the Spartan sun, it burns with the memory of every realm he saved and scarred. The prophecy bled Truhai's hands held the hammer that cracked Yggdrasil's roots. Not all legends are meant to end. Some become the wound the world never heals. The cape remains, the realms fracture, the blood echoes. What if his blood carried a Titan's vengeance? Kratos' rage was not his own, it was a debt paid in kind. Zeus's shadow cursed Sparta, and that curse bled into Asgard. The 9 realms trembled not from his blade, but from the divine wrought in his veins. How does a god's wrath shape the end of worlds? Next, the ghost of Sparta and the Olympian disease that turned Ragnarok into a slow, burning plague.